250 years.
A long road for a nation, and we're still walking it together. And 250 candles burning in the dark since a spark in Philadelphia lit a rebel heart. Farmers took a musket, said we'll stand or fall, a fragile little promise written for us all. From frozen lines at Valley Forge to a brand new flag unfurled, a dream began to whisper to a watching world. 250 years of freedom in the wind, through the fire and the doubt we rise again. Every scar tells a story of the price we paid for the right to stand proud and unafraid. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years. There were days when the country nearly tore apart, brother against brother with a shattered heart. Fields turned into battlefields, hope hanging by a thread, praying that the Union wasn't already dead. But the better angels whispered through the pain, and we stitched a broken promise back again. 250 years of freedom in the wind, through the fire and the doubt we rise again. Every scar tells a story of the price we paid for the right to stand proud and unafraid. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years. From the beaches of Normandy to a rocket in the sky, from a march across a bridge to one small step nearby, every generation writes another line in the story of a dream that still survives. 250 years and the flag still flies, carried by the brave who gave their lives for the hope that every soul can stand up free in the land of possibility. Through the storms, through the tears, through the fight to stay strong, we kept the light burning all along, and the world still sees that shining frontier. 250 years of freedom here. 250 years.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Memorial Park here in Little Falls, New York, home of the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. This is Dave Warner. I'm filling in for Pete, who has slid to the left. He's doing the announcing here tonight. For Josh, who is sick. So we've had to play musical chairs up here. So Mohawk Valley is facing the Amsterdam Mohawks tonight, who are 22-4. They've won their last 4 games. DiamondDawgs won their game yesterday afternoon against the Boonville Lumberjacks and looked really good out there. They need a win tonight, though.
And how about that pitch right down the middle?
And we've got a young pitcher out there who looks like he's ready to go. We're going to put him on the mound anytime here. So he threw out the first pitch. So for the DiamondDawgs pitching tonight, number 8 from Lafayette College is Allie Hood. So he's being delivered the ball out there, courtesy of the UPS store. And Hood is going to start his warm-up pitches.
Let's hear it for UPS in Little Falls. And again, Henderson.
Really nice weather tonight. Got a 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from center field, kind of coming across the field towards right. So we'll see what that does to the long balls tonight. Mostly cloudy. Sun was out for just a second there, and now it's gone again, so lights are on here. Got a bit of a crowd out there tonight on both sides. People, easy for them to travel from Amsterdam. It's about 40 minutes down the road, so they got some fans down the third baseline as well. And Travis is working the music at the field tonight, so it's all 80s all night. That's all we're going to hear in here. So Hood's just about warmed up. He's going to be facing number 8, the right fielder from Stetson, Andrew Azell. Breeze feels great coming through the booth here. Usually it's about 90, 95 degrees up here at least. Here's a throw down to second base. And everybody's ready to go here. I can tell this is going to be a loud booth tonight with Travis on the music. He's jamming up here. We're all going to jump. So Azell's coming up to the plate. Hood is ready to go. Umpire says, let's get this going here. Here's play ball. Hood's ready to go. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. That one curled just on the outside corner of the plate. Good swing from Azell at it. Hood's ready to go already. Here's the pitch. That one's hit hard to the third baseman. He scoops it up, throw over to first base in time for out number 1. So Azell grounds out to the third baseman, and that brings up number 32, the center fielder from Seton Hall, Aiden Dill. Dill's a left-handed batter. He steps in. And here's a pitch from Hood. That one swung on and missed for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike. Top of the first inning here in Little Falls. Here's the pitch from Hood. That one high and away. Gets away from the catcher for a second for ball 1. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out here. Game just underway if you're joining us now. Here's a 1-1 pitch from Hood. High for ball 2. Count now 2-1. Hood looks in and gets the sign. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Here's a pitch from Hood. Inside, gets away from the catcher, nobody on base, no problem. So ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. I'm sorry, ball 3. Ball 3. I'm not as fast as the guy on the scoreboard. Or I'm too fast and I'm getting the wrong numbers. And here's a pitch from Hood. Outside for ball 4. So Dill gets a walk out of that. That brings to the plate number 6, the catcher from Auburn, Taylor Belza. Belza is also a left-handed batter. So runner on first base for the Mohawks with 1 out. Taking a good lead off of there. Here's a pitch from Hood. Hit past the first baseman. It took a little bit of a hop there. And he's going to second base. That one went way down into the right field corner. 1 run scores. And they throw it in. And so Belza is on third base. 1 run gets across the plate.
Now batting the third baseman, number 29, from Rutgers University, Gabriel Rivera.
So that brings number 29, third baseman from Rutgers, Gabriel Rivera, to the plate. He's a right-handed batter. Got a runner on third base with 1 out. 1 run that's across for the Mohawks. Here's a pitch from Hood. Low and away for ball 1. Rivera's ready for the pitch. Here's a delivery. Just a bit outside and low for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out here in the top of the first inning, and the Mohawks have a run across. Here's a pitch from Hood. Swung on and fouled back for strike 1. So the count to Rivera is 2 balls on 1 strike. Here's a pitch from Hood. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the first inning. Rivera steps in. Hood gets his sign. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to the third baseman, who dove at it, missed it, got through to the left fielder. So another run scores, and Rivera is on base.
Going to the plate, the extra hitter, number 35, from Hudson Valley Community College, Robert Mello.
So that brings to the plate number 35, the extra hitter from Hudson Valley, Robert Milo. He's a left-handed batter. And Rivera's on first base with 1 out. Takes a good lead. Hood looks in. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. 1 out. Mohawk has a runner on first base. Here's a pitch from Hood, inside in the dirt, but catcher kept it in front of him, so 2 balls, no strikes. Looked like Rivera wanted to steal on that one, but he held up for a second. Milo's ready. Hood looks over at first base, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Runner's going. Hit hard past the first baseman for a single out into right field. Runner's coming around third base, and he's going home. Here's the throw to the plate, and not in time, and he dropped it as well. So he's safe at home. So Milo gets a single, drives in a run, and that brings number 30, the first baseman from Delaware, Anthony DeCesar, to the plate. So 3 runs across the plate already in the top of the inning for the Mohawks. Still 1 out with a runner on first base. Umpire says play. Hood's ready to pitch. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Still in the top of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Just outside for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. DeCesar steps in. Hood checks the runner. Here's the pitch. That one's hit hard down the third baseline out into left field. Left fielder's chasing it down. Runner's going to third base. Here's the throw back in to third. And DeCesar has got a double. He ends up on second base. That brings number 26, the designated hitter from Alabama, Zach Johnson, to the plate. And that brings the pitching coach out to the mound to have a talk with Hood. They're going to talk things over, calm him down a little bit. It's not like he's been pitching poorly. So these guys have gotten some solid hits. Ball has just kind of bounced over a couple of gloves, a couple of diving catches that didn't work. If they had, they'd been spectacular, but they didn't. So Johnson's coming to the plate. He's got a runner on third base, and there's only 1 out. Sounds like the Mohawks are doing the rowing thing over there. They're thinking soccer maybe. So Hood's ready to go. Umpire says play ball. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on second and third. Mohawks up 3-0 in the top of the first. Here's a pitch from Hood. Outside for ball 1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Hood gets the sign. Here's the pitch. That's hit hard to the shortstop, who picks it up, throws over to first base in time for out number 2, but a run scores. And the runner on second moves up to third.
Now batting the shortstop, number 15, from the University of Rhode Island, James Houghton.
So number 15, the shortstop from Rhode Island, James Houghton, comes to the plate. He's a left-handed batter. There's 2 outs, and he's got a runner on third base. Hood looks in. and gets the sign and outside and away for ball one. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back down the third baseline for strike one. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on third base. Mohawk up 4-0 in the top of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. To Houghton. Here's the pitch from Hood. Swung on and fouled down the first baseline towards the dugout for strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Mohawk up 4-0. Here's a pitch from Hood. Swung on and missed for strike 3, so that retires the side, but Mohawk scores 4 runs in the top of the first inning, and we'll be right back after a commercial break.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
All right, we are back, folks, in Little Falls, New York at Veterans Memorial Park. And up for the DiamondDawgs, the designated hitter, number 14 from UConn, Eric Diaz. He'll be followed by Jake Hardy and Ryan Payne. On the mound for Mohawk is Warren Miller. Miller's ready to go. Looks in, get his sign. And here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 1. Diaz steps in. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Miller. Swung on and missed for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Mohawk is up 4-0. Here's a pitch from Miller. High for ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Got the rally horn going here. Dogs need a rally. At least claw a couple of runs back here. Miller sets. Here's the pitch. And called strike 2. I think. Yep. All right. A little slow on the call there, but 2 balls and 2 strikes. Diaz waiting for the pitch. Here it comes. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Diaz strikes out. And that brings right fielder, number 4, from Fairfield University, Jake Hardy, to the plate. Hardy's a right-handed batter. Hardy would love for nothing more than to get something started here to help claw back a run or two, cut that lead. Here's a pitch from Miller. Down low for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Hardy's ready at the plate. Here's the pitch from Miller. High for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody on base. Here's the pitch from Miller. Called strike 1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Miller looks in. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 3. So Miller's looking in. Pitches. Counts 3-1. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. So full count now on Hardy. Nobody on base for the Dogs. They'd love to get him on base here, so. Here's a 3-2 pitch from Miller. That one is hit over the second baseman's head, and he's got it. Looked like it was over his head and going to drop in for a single, but he motored out there and pulled it in. So that brings the shortstop, number 27 from Fairfield, Ryan Payne, to the plate. So Payne steps in. He's a right-handed batter with 2 outs. Miller looks in. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on base for the DiamondDawgs. Here's the pitch from Miller. Down low for ball 1. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Ryan Payne at the plate. Miller looks in, gets his sign. Doesn't have to worry about any runners. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 3. He wanted that corner call, didn't get it. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning here. Scores 4-0 Mohawk. Here's a pitch for Miller. Inside for ball 4, and Payne gets a walk. So all kinds of things can happen even with 2 outs. once you get some runners on first base. And so that brings
Scanlon.
number 9, the first baseman, Connor Scanlon, to the plate. Couldn't read my own handwriting there. I was looking at it going, okay, what did I write here? So Miller looks in. He's got a runner on first base. He looks over at him. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to center field. Center fielder's charging it, diving for it, and he's got it. So that's 3 outs for the DiamondDawgs. So at the end of 1 inning here, it's 4-0, and we'll return in a minute.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
We are back, folks, at Veterans Memorial Park here in Little Falls, New York, home of the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. This is the top of the 2nd inning. Mohawk is up 4-0. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. Coming to the plate now is number 3, the left fielder from Alabama. It's Evan Taylor. He is a right-handed batter. Hood is still on the mound for the DiamondDawgs. And here's the pitch. That one called strike. Strike number 1. So no balls, 1 strike. Top of the 2nd. Here's a pitch from Hood. That one's hit hard to the third baseman who scoops it up. And it gets underneath his glove. So an error on the third baseman. Looked like an easy play, and he didn't make it. That brings to the plate number 0, the second baseman from Wake Forest, Tyler Figueroa. Figueroa looking for a sign from his coach. It's a right-handed batter. He's got a runner on first base. Mohawks are known to do some bunting here. You wouldn't be a bit surprised. No, he fouls that one back down the first baseline, out into the tennis courts for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the top of the 2nd inning. Amsterdam has a runner on first base. Got a short lead. Hood looks in. Here's the pitch. Down and away for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out here. Mohawks with a runner on first base. Hood looks over. Throws over to first base. Runner's back in plenty of time. Just keeping him honest. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hood checks the runner again. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back to the net here for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Hood looks in. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taylor's the runner on first base for Amsterdam. Hood looks over at him. Here's the pitch. Outside and away. Good stop by the catcher. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So a full count now. Hood would love to get a double play ball off of this. He looks in. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to the second baseman, who scoops it up and pops it up in the air. Can't get it in his glove. So Figueroa reaches on an error, and that brings the top of the order to the plate. Number 8, the right fielder from Stetson, Andrew Izell. So nobody out. Runners on first and second base for Amsterdam. Izell last time up, ground out to the third baseman. Here's the pitch from Hood. He shows bunt. He's got to move those people along. Pitcher picks it up, throws over to first base, gets him in time, but the runners advance, and that's all he wanted to do. That brings number 32, the center fielder from Seton Hall, Aiden Dill, to the plate. Dill walked his last time at bat. He's a left-handed batter. He's now got runners at second and third in scoring position with 1 out. Here's the pitch from Hood. Down low for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here. Top of the second inning. The Dogs do not want a repeat of the first inning here, so Hood would love to get out of this. Here's the pitch. Inside and low for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Hood's got a spot on first base that he could put him, but I don't think he wants to do that. Do not want the bases loaded with 1 out. So here's a pitch from Hood. Swung on, hit hard foul down the first baseline for strike 1. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out here. Runners on second and third for Mohawk. And they're ahead 4-0 in the top of the second inning. Here's a pitch from Hood. Outside and away for ball 3. Dill's a left-handed batter. He steps in. Here's a 3-1 pitch from Hood. That one gets away from the catcher, and a run will score. Hood covers the plate, but not only did he walk him, but a run came in. So that brings number 6, a catcher from Auburn, Taylor Belza, to the plate. Belza, left-handed batter. Got runners on the corners here with only 1 out. Belza last time up got a single. Dill's got a good lead off of first base. Hood looks in and gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Runners going. And no throw down to second base. So Dill steals second base, and the count is 1-0 to Belza. Here's a pitch from Hood. Swung on and missed for strike one. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here. Top of the second inning. Mohawk has 1 run across already, with runners on second and third base. Hood looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Fouled for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes to Belza. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch from Hood. That's hit hard up in the air, deep to left field. Left fielder's underneath it. Here's the tag coming home. He throws into third base. Holds a runner in second, but another run scores with a sacrifice fly out.
Now batting the third baseman, number 29 from Rutgers.
So number 29, the third baseman from Rutgers, comes to the plate. Gabriel Rivera. He reached on an error last time at bat. He's got a runner at second base with 2 outs. Mohawk is up 6-0 here in the top of the second inning. Hood looks in. Checks the runner. Checks him again. Here's the pitch. And ump says it hit the batter. So Rivera's hit by pitch. And that'll bring number 35, the extra hitter from Hudson Valley, Robert Milo, to the plate. Melo got a single his last time at bat. And he's got runners on first and second base with 2 outs. So Hood looks in. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to the first baseman, who scoops it, makes the tag himself for out number 3. But Mohawk scores 2 runs in this inning. And we're going to break for a commercial here and be back in a minute.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber. They're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
We are back here in Little Falls at Veterans Memorial Park here. The Amsterdam Mohawks are up 6-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. And the center fielder, number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan, is at the plate. Miller's still on the mound for the Mohawks. And we're ready to go. Here's a pitch from Miller. Outside corner for strike one. So no balls, one strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's a pitch from Miller. Called strike two. So a quick 2 strikes on Dolan. And here's the pitch. Outside past the catcher for ball one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Rally horn going here and trying to get something going. Here's the pitch from Miller. Down low for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Dogs would just love to get something going here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the pitch from Miller. Swung on, foul tip for strike 3. So that brings the left fielder, number 25 from Belmont University, Kyle Coleman, to the plate. Kyle Coleman was pretty hot yesterday with 2 3-run home runs. He has been on fire, but this is his first time to the plate tonight. So let's see how he does against Miller. Here's the pitch. High for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the second inning here. Miller's on the mound for the Mohawks. Here's the pitch. And that one is hit out to right field. Right fielder's underneath it and makes the grab for out number 2.
Now batting for your DiamondDawgs.
So number 34, the catcher, University of Richmond, Joe Crenshaw. Crenshaw's a right-handed batter. He's coming to the plate with 2 outs. Dogs are down 6-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. Miller looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1, outside corner. So no balls, 1 strike. Beautiful night here tonight. 73 degrees right now with a breeze. It feels incredible for, where are we, July 6th. Here's the pitch for Miller. That one's a chopper, hit back over to the second baseman, who picks it up, throws over to first base, not in time. So Crenshaw, little chopper, kind of slow, was able to beat it out and get on base. So that brings the third baseman, number 29 from American International University, Aiden Streeter, to the plate. Streeter's right-handed batter. Dogs have got a runner on first base with 2 outs. Miller's looking over at him. He's not got much of a lead, so here's the pitch. That one is fouled down the first baseline, out of play. Or as I used to make Chris really excited about, out of bounds. Wrong sport. Miller checks the sign here. He's looking at the runner. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's hit hard to left field, deep, and that's in the corner on the ground. Fair territory. Here comes 1 run across. And Streeter's in for a clear double. He hit that one hard down the left field line. So the second baseman, number 21 from Brown University, Harsh Venkat, is at the plate. Venkat is a right-handed batter. There are 2 outs. Dogs have a runner on second base in scoring position. They'd love to squeak another run across. Score's now 6-1, bottom of the second. Here's a pitch from Miller. Outside and high for ball 1. Miller checks the runner. Got a good lead out there. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Harsh wanted a real piece of that. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Bottom of the second inning. Mohawk up 6-1. Miller's got the sign. Second baseman is making like he wants to go over there, but he's not going to. Outside and away for ball 2. So he's paying a little attention to the runner over there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Venkat waiting on the pitch. Here it comes. Outside and away for ball 3. So the rally horn is back. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. DiamondDawgs have a runner on second base in scoring position. Here's the pitch from Miller. Checking the runner. Here's the pitch. High and away for ball 4. So Venkat walks. Dogs have a little bit of a threat going on here. That brings to the plate the designated hitter, number 14 from UConn, Eric Diaz, to the plate. Diaz struck out his last time at bat. He'd love to do something here with a runner in scoring position, another one on first base. Diaz is a left-handed batter. Score is 6-1, bottom of the second, 2 outs. Miller checks the runners, but here's the pitch. Low and inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Diaz at the plate. Diaz is a left-handed batter. Here's a pitch for Miller. Inside for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on base. Miller looks in, gets a sign. Here's the pitch. Little chopper back to the pitcher who grabs it by himself, tosses it over to first base, and that's out number 3. So the Dogs score 1 run in the bottom of the second inning. That's 6-1 now, Mohawks, and we'll be back in a minute. Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors. But you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gem shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime. All right, we are back at Betts Field here in Little Falls, New York. Got a new pitcher for the DiamondDawgs, number 18 from Trinity University. Jack Henning is on the mound. The DiamondDawgs have number 30, their first baseman from Delaware, Anthony DeCesar, at the plate. He's a right-handed batter. Henning is ready to go. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to deep left field. They're tracking back, and that first pitch is gone. That was a home run. So DeCesar says, welcome. We're glad we're here. Here's a home run. Only thankful thing about that is the bases were empty. He was the first batter up.
The hitter, number 26 from the University of Alabama, Zach Johnson.
So that brings the designated hitter, number 26 from Alabama, Zach Johnson, to the plate. Johnson ground out to the shortstop last time up. Here's a pitch from Henning. That one is hit hard to center field. Center fielder, though, he's tracking underneath it, and he's got it for out number 1.
Now batting the shortstop, number 15 from the University of Rhode Island.
So number 15, the shortstop from Rhode Island, James Houghton, is at the plate. He's a left-handed batter. Houghton struck out his last time at base at bat. So 1 out here. Here's the pitch. Outside corner for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's a pitch from Henning. Inside and in the dirt for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Mohawk ahead 7-1 here. Here's the pitch from Henning. That one fouled back down the third baseline towards the dugout for strike 2. So here's the pitch from Henning. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on base. Here in the top of the 3rd inning. Henning looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. That one's hit hard down the third baseline, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Had quite a bit of cloud cover earlier when we started the game. Looks like it's clearing a little bit from the east. I don't think there's any rain threatening us tonight. Here's a pitch from Henning. Inside and in the dirt for ball 2. Or ball 3. Yeah, I thought it was 3. Xavier Regan is here keeping score. I happen to look down. Although, I don't know. Check that score there, Xavier.
Now batting the left fielder, number 3 from the University of Alabama.
It's not saying it's not updating the score. So a little bit something from there it goes. All right. Our scoreboard went a little wonky there for a second. Usually that means we've lost the Wi-Fi. So Houghton walks. He's on first base. Here's the pitch. That one's popped up. The right fielder, he's tracking back towards the fence and makes a grab at it, but it's over the fence. He couldn't get to it. It almost looked like he had it for a second there. That's a home run for Taylor.
Now batting the second baseman, number 0
So that brings in 2 runs. So it's 9-1 now, Mohawks. They scored 4 runs in the first inning, 2 in the second inning, 3 already here in the top of the third inning. And that brings number 0, the second baseman from Wake Forest, Tyler Figueroa, to the plate. So here's a pitch from Henning. Outside corner for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike. 1 out here. Mohawks are getting a little rowdy in the dugout over there. Here's the pitch from Henning. Outside and low for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And 2 home runs in this inning for Amsterdam. Here's the pitch. That one's popped to the right fielder. He's underneath it this time. And he makes the grab for out number 2. So fly out by Figueroa brings number 8, the right fielder from Stetson, Andrew Ezell, to the plate. Ezell on his first at bat, he ground out to the third baseman, and then he had a successful bunt. So Henning looks in. He's got 2 outs, and here's the pitch. That one's hit hard to the second baseman, who grabs it, throws over to first base for out number 3, and the Dogs are out of the inning, but not before the Mohawks score 3 runs. We'll be back in a minute after this message.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The tire shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
We are back in Little Falls at Veterans Memorial Park. Warren Miller is still on the mound for the Mohawks. Coming to the plate is right fielder number 4, Jake Hardy. Hardy had a fly out his first time at bat tonight. Ball gets out on the field here, and we're holding up, waiting for him to throw it off. Ump says play ball. Miller looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball one.
At the plate from Mohawk Valley, number 4, Jake Hardy.
So Hardy would like for nothing more to get something started here for the DiamondDawgs. Here's a pitch from Miller. Outside corner for strike one. So 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Mohawks up 9-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dogs need to get a rally going here. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back over the press box here. Out to the street. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch from Miller. High for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd here. Miller's pitch is on the way. That one's hit hard to center field. In the gap, it looks like, and up against the fence. He's on his way to second base and in safe. So a clean double for Hardy, which is definitely something that the Dogs needed. That brings the shortstop, number 27, Ryan Payne, to the plate. He walked his first time at bat. And he's loving the fact that nobody's out and there's a runner on second base in scoring position. So Coach Luby looks happy about that too. He's dancing around out there. Payne's waiting for the pitch. Miller checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike. Miller looks for the sign. Looks back to Hardy on second base. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 1. Dogs need to get some runs across here, so any way we can. Miller's checking the runner. Checks him again. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Mohawk up 9-1. Here's the pitch from Miller. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Payne strikes out. Was hoping for more. That brings the first baseman, number 9, from Fairfield, Connor Scanlon. Scanlon had a fly out his first time at bat. So Dogs have a runner at second base with 1 out. Miller shakes off 1 sign. He's ready to go now. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Kind of a check swing, but called strike. Didn't check it in time. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Miller. Outside and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's a pitch from Miller. Outside and away again for ball 2. So the Dogs have a runner on second base with 1 out. Would love to get another run in and try to start cutting that lead back. Here's a pitch from Miller. Outside and high for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. At this point, Scanlon take a walk. He'd love to get on base any way he can. Here's the pitch. Hit hard to the second baseman, who grabs it, throws over to first base, advances the runner to the third, but that's 2 outs.
Coming to plate, the center fielder, number 35, from Seton Hall University.
So number 35, the center fielder from Seton Hall, Jack Dolan, is coming to the plate. Dolan struck out his last time at bat. Hardy had advanced to third base. He'd love to come across the plate with 2 outs. So here's the pitch from Miller. Outside and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's a pitch from Miller. Called strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Dogs have a runner at third base. Here's the pitch from Miller. In the dirt for ball 2. Runner doesn't advance. Catcher did a good job keeping it in front of him. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Dogs have a runner on third base. And here's a pitch from Miller. Outside away, a throw down to third base, but third baseman wasn't ready for it. Hit the bag and kind of bounced out of the way, and the run scores. So wasn't a bad throw, but the third baseman wasn't ready for it, and then it kind of hit the bag and bounced off towards the fence. So the Dogs will take it however they can get it. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on the bases now. Another run is scored for the DiamondDawgs, so it's 9-2. Here's the pitch from Miller. Outside and hot. Okay. I thought that was outside and high for ball 4, but nope. Umpire says strike. So full count now with 2 outs. Dolan had started down towards first base. Here's the pitch. That one's popped high in the air to the right fielder, who's underneath it, tracks it, and grabs it. So the Dogs score 1 run in this inning, and at the end of 3, it's 9-2 Mohawk. We'll be back in a minute. If you're looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to serve as retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place. So we are back here at Veterans Memorial Park. And number 32, the center fielder from Seton Hall, Aiden Dill, is at the plate for Mohawk. We have a new pitcher on the diamond for the DiamondDawgs. Number 12, but we don't know his name yet or where he's from, so he's just out there. We might have picked him out there in the street somewhere at this point. Dill has walked both times he's been at bat. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball one. So here's the pitch. That one is popped foul down the third baseline for strike one. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And we're trying to keep up on the score here as we sent Chris running down to find out who this was. Here's the pitch from whomever. Hit hard right back past the pitcher, out in his center field for a single. So Dill
Now batting the catcher, number 6, Taylor Belvin. Now pitching for Mohawk Valley, number 12, Colin Schneider from Davis and Atkins College.
So we found his name here. Number 12 on the mound for the DiamondDawgs is Colin Schneider, who has a runner on first base now. Here's the pitch from Schneider. Inside corner for strike one. So no balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Runner on first base. Schneider checks the runner. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard past the first baseman out in the right field. Runner's going towards third base. Here's the throw in his second. Runner holds at first base. So a single for Belza.
Coming to the plate, the third baseman, number 29 from Rutgers University.
That brings number 29, the third baseman from Rutgers, Gabriel Rivera, to the plate. They're each on an error the first inning. It was hit by a pitch in the second inning. And so now he's coming to the plate with nobody out and runners on the corners. Here's a pitch from Snyder, outside and away for ball one. Here's the pitch, outside and away again for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Runners on the corners here for Mohawk. So Rivera steps in, waits on the pitch. Here it is. Inside for ball 3. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. So top of the 4th inning, runners on the corners. Here's a pitch from Snyder. Low and away for ball 4. So that loads the bases with nobody out.
Now batting the extra hitter, number 35.
That brings the extra hitter, number 35 from Hudson Valley, Robert Mello, to the plate. Mello's a left-handed batter. He had a single his first time at bat, and then he grounded out to the first baseman his next time up. Things are looking a lot better. This time, here's the pitch. Foul down the third baseline for strike 1. The runner on third had to jump up over that ball. A little bit dangerous. If that thing popped into the air, would have hit him. So bases loaded, no balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Schneider looks in. Here's the pitch. Foul tip in the dirt for strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, bases loaded. Here's the pitch from Schneider. That one is hit hard, up in the air, deep right field. Right fielder's underneath it. He's got it. Here's a tag by the guy on third base. Everybody move forward. So 1 run scores off of that sacrifice fly. And that brings number 30, the first baseman from Delaware, Anthony DeCesar, to the plate. DeCesar has had a hot night tonight. He had a double his first time at bat, and then he had a home run. And now he's got 1 out with runners on second and third base. And here's the pitch from Schneider. Inside for ball 1. So Schneider looks in. Here's the pitch. That one hits him in the back. I thought it hit him. Run scores. Umpire saying it went behind him and didn't touch him, so the run scores on the wild pitch. And that makes the score 11-2 now in the top of the 4th. So 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, and a runner on third base. Here's the pitch. That one is popped up to, looks like shortstop. He's underneath it. He's got the grab. Runner does not advance. Wasn't deep enough.
Now batting the designated hitter.
So that makes 2 outs.
University of Alabama, Zach Johnson.
So that brings number 26, the designated hitter from Alabama, Zach Johnson, to the plate with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position on third base. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. Scores 11-2 now. Here's the pitch from Schneider. Outside and away for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, runner on on third base for the Mohawks. Here's the pitch. Curls in for strike 2. Good pitch. So here's the pitch. That one gets away from him a little bit. High for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mohawk is up 11-2. And here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 3. Full count now. No sense in putting this guy on. And here's the pitch. Outside corner for strike 2. Or strike 3, strike 3. He didn't agree with it, but it counts. So after 3.5, it's 11-2. We'll be back in a minute. Hey fans, tell the world you are here at Veterans Memorial Park watching your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite team. For more information, visit mvdiamonddogs.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We are back, folks. So Mohawk is ahead 11-2 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Diamond Dogs would love to get anything going. The left fielder, number 25 from Belmont University, Kyle Coleman, is at the plate. Coleman had a fly out to the right fielder last time he was at bat, which is the only time he was at bat. Miller's still on the mound for the Mohawks. And here's his first pitch of the inning. Outside and away for ball one. So 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. And I know everybody's probably tuning in at soccer right now. Here's the pitch. Outside corner for strike one. So USA is playing Belgium here. That's what I said. You know, he's reminding me to tell you about that. Foul back here towards the press box for strike two. I don't know if you want us to spoil it for you if anybody gets a goal. But if you hear all yelling, goal, you'll know. You just won't know who. Yeah, you will. We're not going to root for Brazil up here. Xavier might, but here's the pitch from Miller. That one's fouled down the right field line, out of play, towards the basketball courts over there. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The rally horn is going. We need a rally. And Coleman's just the guy to do it, who has been on a hell of a tear. Here's a pitch. That one is hit hard, deep in the gap between left and center, and that ball is gone. His streak stays alive. That is a home run for Coleman. That is his third one in 2 days, so he is definitely on a streak. The Dogs could use any kind of energy they can get, and Coleman looks like he's the guy to give it to him. He taps the plate. Here comes the run. Boom. Definitely what the guys needed. So that brings the score to 11-3. It brings the catcher, number 34 from the University of Richmond, Joe Crenshaw, to the plate. He had a single his last time at bat. Anything to get the fans here fired up just a little bit. We didn't say goal. We could have said goal. Here's the pitch from Miller. Inside and high for ball one. Here's a pitch from Miller. Outside corner for strike one. It's a 1 ball and 1 strike. To Crenshaw. Here's the pitch. Outside away for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Dogs have scored 1 run in this inning. I can't even say it. Here's the pitch. Low and away for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Like I said, Crenshaw single last time at bat. I figured this time he'd love to get on however he can. Get a little rally going here with nobody out. Here's a pitch from Miller. Swung and fouled back towards the booth here for strike 2. So full count to Crenshaw. So Miller looking in, trying to get the sign here. He's set. Here's the pitch. That one is popped up down the first baseline and looks like it's out of play. Curls out of play. So count remains 3-2.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
So Crenshaw's hanging in there, making Miller work a bit. Crenshaw's ready to go. Miller's looking in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Miller still has something in him here after playing 4 innings. That brings to the plate the third baseman, number 29 from American International University, Aiden Streeter. Streeter had a double his last time up. So with 1 out, he'd love to do it again. Here's a pitch from Miller. That one's fouled out of play down the first baseline for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch from Miller. Fouled back again. Out of play. So 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on base. Scores 11-3 Mohawks. Here's the pitch. That one is popped out of play again down the first baseline. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. Streeter's hanging in there, working Miller a little bit. I don't think Miller's had to sweat much tonight, that's for sure. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Streeter wasn't sure he agreed with that, but no arguing. So now second baseman, number 21 from Brown University, Harsh Venkat, is at the plate. He walked his last time at the plate. So here's a pitch from Miller. Outside and away for ball 1. Miller sets. Here's the second pitch. Swung on and fouled back for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Venkat with 2 outs. Wind still blowing in from left to right Good breeze out there still. Pretty cool. Here's a pitch from Miller. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Venkat took a heck of a rip at it and missed. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning here. Diamond Dogs have scored a run. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3, so quick inning, except for the home run for Miller. And at the end of 4 innings, it's 11-3 Mohawks. We'll be back in a minute.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
The shit's... All right. We went live without me knowing it. And I was going to say, I don't know who's at the plate here. We've had a change. On the mound for the Diamond Dogs is number 1, Colin Skirmont. And at the plate for the Mohawks is number 15, the shortstop from Rhode Island, James Houghton. Houghton walked his last time at bat. He's a left-handed batter. And here's the pitch. That one's outside away for ball 1, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one outside away again, got away from the catcher a little bit. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to center field. And the center fielder's underneath it to make the grab. That's a fly out. So out number 1. And that brings us to the plate
Now batting the left fielder,
number 37 from Auburn,
Mason.
Mason McCrane. This is McCrane's first time at bat here in the game. He's a left-handed batter. He's coming to the plate with one out. Here's the pitch. Curls in for strike one. No balls, one strike, one out. In the top of the fifth, here's the pitch. Just outside. Look good from up here. So one ball, one strike, one out. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball two. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Boy, that looked good, but called ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 4. Oh. Okay. All right, got some changes coming up too. All right, so coming to the plate for Mohawk is number 0, the second baseman from Wake Forest, Tyler Figueroa. So with a runner on first, here's the pitch. That one is popped foul for strike one.
0, Tyler Figueroa.
Figueroa reached on a fielder's choice first time at bat. Flied out his second time at bat. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard between the third baseman and shortstop out into the left field. Runner's going for third base. Throw was in time, but missed the catch. Could have had the runner. Had him plenty of time. So now we've got runners on second and third
Going to the plate, the
with
right
one
fielder,
out.
Number 10 from Auburn University, Brendan McCrane.
So filling in now is number 10, the right fielder from Auburn, Brandon McCrane for Mohawk. So here's the pitch. Called strike one. Here's a second pitch. That one's fouled down the first baseline for strike two. Into the bleachers. Hopefully somebody got that one. Oh, 2 pitch on its way here. That one's fouled down the first baseline again. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Runners on second and third. So no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, calls strike 3. Beautiful pitch.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 32 from Seton Hall
So McCrane
University,
strikes out.
Dill.
And that brings to plate number 32, the center fielder from Seton Hall, Aiden Dill, who walked his first couple times at bat and had a single his last time. So he comes to the plate with 2 outs. Runners in scoring position at second and third base. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 1. Pitcher steps off the mound here for a second. Now he's back. Looks in to catch a sign. The 1-0 pitch is on the way. Curls in for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners on second and third base. Score is 11-3, Mohawks. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Foul down the third baseline for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning here. Here's the pitch. That one is popped up into center field. Center fielder is charging it, dropped the ball. It was in his glove, fell out. 2 runs are across, makes the throw to second. Runner's in safe.
Now batting the catcher, number 6 from the University
So that brings
of
2
Auburn,
runs across
Cameron
for Mohawk. We've got a runner out there on second base now with 2 outs still. Score is 13-3. So number 6, a catcher from Auburn, Taylor Belza, is at the plate for the Mohawks. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard over the first baseman's head and just called foul. Well, that was a shot down the first baseline, out by about a foot. The runner goes back to second base, and all of that energy ends up being just a strike. But Belza got the bat on it. He's smiling about it, too. He looks at the catcher and says, yeah, that was good. The umpire, you sure that was foul? He says, yeah, it was foul. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Belza steps in. Runner stands around on second base. Here's the pitch. Fouled back for strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes from Skermont. Shakes off a sign here. Likes the next one. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Hell of a pitch there.
All right,
So Bells is out, a strikeout, but on an error, the Mohawks get 2 more runs. It's 13-3 after 4.5, and we'll be back in a minute.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
We are back, folks, trying to track all the changes by the Mohawks. They have a new pitcher now, number 24 from Wake Forest, Grant Nicholson, on the mound. And at the plate for the DiamondDawgs is Eric Diaz, a designated hitter, number 14. Here's the first pitch. Called strike one, outside corner. Here's a 1 pitch. Outside and away for ball one. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch from Nicholson. That one is pop foul down the third baseline and out of play. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Diaz. Diaz struck out his first time at bat. He ground out to the first baseman his last time up. Ground out to the pitcher, if I remember right. So that one's outside and away for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Diaz. And here's the pitch. Outside for ball 3. So full count now with nobody out to Diaz. Here's the pitch. That one fouled out of play again down the third baseline. That one for one of the fans out there. Oh, it bounced back in. What did that do? Hit the pole? Somehow it ended up back on the field. Coach Luby snagged it. Wasn't a tough snag. He just picked it up off the ground. Nicholson's ready to go. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Foul tip. Count remains 3-2. Looks like it might have hit Diaz in the foot a little bit. He danced around for a second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled back again. Count remains 3-2 to Diaz. Good time for the rally horn here. Dogs need to get something going with this 13-3 score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's a pitch from Nicholson. That one popped down the third baseline again out of play. Kids are running for it. That one got to him. There's about 3 or 4 of them going out there and said, we're going to find this ball. So Diaz hanging in there on the 3-2 count. So here's the pitch. Inside for ball 4. So Diaz gets on base to start this inning, which is definitely what the Dogs need.
Now batting for the DiamondDawgs, the right fielder number 4 from Fairfield University.
So for the DiamondDawgs, coming to the plate, the right fielder number 4 from Fairfield University is Jake Hardy. Hardy flied out his first time at bat, but he had a solid double his last time up. So Diaz is on first base. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 1. Diaz got a little bit of a lead over there. Nicholson looks in. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That one is popped foul down the first baseline for strike 1. Should have been another souvenir for the fans out there. I don't know if it went in the stands or over in the tennis courts. So 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. That one's popped back again for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, runner on first base. Jake Hardy at the plate. Here's the pitch. That was popped up, might be in play. Catcher's making a play for it. And don't think he got it. Can't see it from here because he was. He did not get it. He was right underneath us, so we couldn't really see. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nicholson looks in, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Curls in, swinging, strike 3, so Hardy's out. And that brings to the plate the shortstop, number 27 from Fairfield, Ryan Payne. So Payne walked his first time at bat, struck out his last time. Still got a runner on first base. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss for strike 1. So Payne took a heck of a cut at it, but didn't connect. So the count's no balls, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first base. We're in the bottom of the 5th, and Mohawks ahead 13-3. Here's the pitch from Nicholson. Inside and high for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nicholson checks the runner. And here's the pitch. Called strike 2 on the inside corner. Payne did kind of a double take on that one, but it counts. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Diaz is on first base, taking a little bit of a lead, but no threat to go here. Here's a pitch from Nicholson. Called strike on the outside corner for strike 3, and that's 2 outs for the DiamondDawgs.
Now batting the first baseman,
So the first baseman, number 9 from Fairfield, Connor Scanlon, comes to the plate. Scanlon flied out his first time at bat, grounded out to the third baseman his second time at bat. Here's a pitch from Nicholson. Swung on a miss for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Dogs have a runner on first base. Here's a pitch from Nicholson. Outside and high for ball 1. So Nicholson checks the runner at first base. Diaz has got just a short lead. He looks in, gets a sign. Here's the pitch. Outside, gets away from the catcher. Diaz on his way to second base. Ball bounces back off the backstop here. Back out to the catcher, but not in time. So Diaz advances on the pass ball. What was it?
Wild pitch.
He should have caught it. Wild pitch or pass ball. I don't know. I thought he could have caught it. You know, Chris has given me a ration. It's 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Runner now on second base for the Dogs. And Scanlon steps out of the box, wants a little extra time. Now he comes back in. Chris is doing the official scoring, so I've got to go with a wild pitch. Here's the pitch. That one gets away from the catcher again. Diaz advances to third base. So should be 3 balls and 1 strike, right? No? Yeah. I was going to say 3 balls and 1 strike. So that one got away from him too. Here's the pitch from Nicholson. That one's in the dirt again for ball 4. So Scanlon gets a walk. And that brings to the plate the center fielder, number 35 from Seton Hall.
Seton Hall University, Jake Dolan.
Jake Dolan. So Dolan had a strikeout his first time at bat. He flied out his second time at bat. And now he's got runners on the corners. It'd be a great time to do something here with 2 outs. Here's a pitch from Nicholson. Outside corner for strike 1. Had to wait for that call. Umpire had to think about it a little bit. Scanlon taking a decent lead off of first base. Definitely doesn't want. Here's the pitch from Nicholson. Way outside. Catcher made a great grab at that one. So 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. Runners on first and third. Luckily, I have a headset on. I can't hear half of what they're saying up here. Here's a pitch from Nicholson. Outside and away again for ball 2. Xavier's laughing, so it must be funny. Either that or he was rooting for Brazil. I'm not going to tell you what the score is. So 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Dogs have runners on first and third base. Would love to coax anybody home at this point. Here's a 2-1 pitch from Nicholson. Inside and low for ball 3. He was thinking he might have nibbled at that corner a bit, but umpire didn't give it to him. So Dolan's still in there. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Swung on for strike 2. Foul tip into the glove, so full count now. Nicholson looks in, gets a sign. Runners on the corners. Full count here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's the 3rd out here. No runs get across. At the end of 5, it's 13-3 Mohawks, and we'll be back in a minute.
Congratulations to our winner of $55. We'll be buying lunch for everybody at McDonald's. Richard Vermillion.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The tire shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
All right, we are back, folks. DiamondDawgs have a new pitcher on the mound, number 18 from Emory University, James Lester.
Gabriel Rivera.
And coming to the plate for Mohawk is number 29, the third baseman from Rutgers, Gabriel Rivera. Rivera reached base on an error the first time. He was hit by a pitch the second time and walked his third time. So he's gotten on base every time in a lot of different ways. So starting the top of the sixth, here's the first pitch. High for ball one. And that one hit the batter. So pitch number two. Hit him in the back. So Rivera has found a way to get on in very unique ways. Error, hit by pitch. Walk, hit by pitch. He's just attracting the ball in all the wrong ways.
Number 21, Chris McLaughlin from Columbia University.
So number 21, Chris McLaughlin, is coming to the plate now for Mohawk. Little conference between Lester and Crenshaw out there near the mound. So McLaughlin steps in. Umpire says play ball. And here's a pitch from Lester. Outside and away for ball one. Rivera's on first base for the Mohawks with nobody out. Counts 1-0. Here's a pitch from Lester. That one's hit between the first and second baseman out in the right field for a single. Runners going to third base, throw into second base, cut off man. But McLaughlin does his job and gets a single, moving the runner over to third base. That brings to the plate number 20, the first baseman from St. John Fisher, Jordan Perry. Perry's a left-handed batter. He's got runners on the corners with nobody out. Lester's looking at the runner at first base. He's got a decent lead over there. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back for strike one. Mohawk plays some aggressive ball here, so look for this runner on first base to be moving as soon as he can. He's got a decent lead. Lester's looking in, getting the sign. Glances back over at the runner. Here's the pitch. That one is fouled down the third baseline for strike two. I'm sorry, strike one. Two. That was right. Good thing Xavier's here, keeping me straight. So runners on the corners, nobody out. Two-strike pitch on its way here in a second. Here it comes. Inside and low for ball one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Mohawk threatening again here with runners on the corners. Here's a pitch from Lester. Foul back for strike two. Umpire says play. Lester looks over at first base, checks the runner. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curls in low for ball 2. Lester wanted that one. Walking off the mound, thinking about it. He thought he had a strike there. Would have been a great pitch if it was called. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runners on first and third. Here's the pitch. That one's curled in and called strike 3. So that's the one he wanted last time, but he got it this time, and that's all that counts.
Coming to the plate, the designated hitter number 26 from the University of Alabama, Zach Johnson.
So number 26, the designated hitter from Alabama, Zach Johnson, is at the plate. Johnson has ground out to the shortstop. He flied out, and he struck out. But now he's got runners on the corner. Here's the pitch from Lester, outside and away for ball 1. Still a good lead by the runner on first base. Lester looks in. Here's the pitch. Fouled back for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. That sounded like it hit a car. I saw Travis look back and go, yeah, that was a car. No? So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on first and third. Here's the pitch from Lester. Outside and away for ball 2. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here in the top of the 6th. Here's a pitch from Lester. High and away for ball 4. So bases are loaded now with 1 out. And that brings number 15, the shortstop from Rhode Island, James Houghton, to the plate. Houghton struck out his first time up. He walked, and then he flied out to center field. So Mohawks threatening again. They got a lot of numbers up there on the board. 4 runs in the first inning, 2 runs in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 2 in the 5th. And they're threatening again here, top of the 6th inning, with bases loaded and 1 out. So good chance for Houghton here to bring some more across. Wind is still blowing in a little bit from left to right. Flag's not quite out as much as it was before. Here's a pitch from Lester. Inside and low for ball 1. You hear Coach Luby over there yelling, come on now. Don't want to walk another run in here. At least put the ball in play. Here's the pitch from Lester. Outside and away for ball 2. Here's the pitch. Throw down to third base. Quick throw. Runner was way off the bag, but not in time. That was a called ball, so we've got 2 balls and 1 strike with the bases loaded. Crenshaw tried to make a snap throw down to third baseman to catch the runner off the bag. Didn't work. Here's the pitch from Lester. Just outside for ball 3. Lester looks in. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. So full count now. Bases loaded. 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. The score is 13-3 Mohawks. Here's a pitch from Lester. Swung on and missed for strike 3. He definitely needed that one with the bases loaded.
Now batting the left fielder, number 37, Mason McCrane from the University of Auburn.
So that brings to the plate the left fielder, number 37 from Auburn, Mason McCrane. McCrane walked his last time at bat. With 2 outs, here's the pitch from Lester. That one fouled off the plate in front of the pitcher, but it bounced off the plate for strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike. Bases still loaded. Dogs would love to get out of this one with no run scored. So Lester's ready for the 0-1 pitch. Here it comes. Swung on a miss for strike 2. So Dogs would love to get out of this one with a strikeout right here with a count 0-2 with 2 outs. Bases loaded. Love it if they could strand these 3 guys out there. Here's the pitch from Lester. And that one was popped up over the press box here, but Lester kind of fell there for a second. So count now 0-2 with 2 outs. Here's a pitch from Lester. That one gets away. Wild pitch. I'll call it this way correctly. And a run scores. So runners advance, run scores on the wild pitch. That's not what he wanted to do on that one. So count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. But it was a costly ball. Score now is 14-3. Mohawk has scored in every inning this game. It's not pretty. Lester's looking in on the 1-2 pitch here. He steps off the mound for a second. Resets. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one is hit hard to deep right field. And that one is gone. So that's not exactly what Lester wanted. A 3-run homer. 2 guys were on base. They both score. And McCrane hits a home run.
Now batting the second baseman, number 0 from Wake Forest.
So that clears the bases, but the score looks ugly. 17-3 now. That brings to the plate Brandon McCrane, number 10, the right fielder. Here's Lester's pitch. Called strike 1. McCrane struck out his last time at bat. Here's the pitch from Lester. That one's fouled back for strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Lester. That one wide and outside for ball 1. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Outside and away for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 4 runs across this inning for the Mohawks. Score is 17-3. Nobody's on base, but the damage has been done. Here's a pitch from Lester. That one's hit hard to the third baseman, who makes a diving catch, but no way he's going to get that ball over there in time. He made an attempt at it, but too late. Made a great catch, though. So McCrane gets on base. That brings all right, I had the wrong guy up there. That's what it was. That was actually Figueroa who was at the plate, I believe. So now we've got number 10, the right fielder, Brendan McCrane, at the plate. Here's the pitch from Lester, foul back for strike one. So here's the 0-1 pitch from Lester. That one is hit hard to right fielder. Right fielder's going back. He's under it. He's got it. So finally the third out here, but the Mohawks score 4 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. It's 17-3, and we'll be back in a minute.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
Okay, we are back. A bunch of changes again by the Mohawks, so we're trying to keep track of that. So for the DiamondDawgs, come to the plate is the center fielder, number 35 from Seton Hall, Jake Dolan. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball one. Mohawks have a new pitcher on the mound. Number 23 from Rhode Island, Parker Atkins. Counts 1-0 from Atkins. Here's the pitch. That one's foul back for strike one. Yeah, 1-1 count. Yep. Wrong one. Yeah. Making some changes here, getting notes from Pete, who came all the way over here. Counts now 2-1. And that one's outside and away to Coleman, who's at the plate. So Coleman's had a home run tonight. Here's a 3-1 pitch to him. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here. Here's the pitch. High for ball 4. So Coleman's on with a walk. That brings the catcher number 34 for the University of Richmond, Joe Crenshaw, to the plate.
Now batting the catcher number
Crenshaw
34,
had a single his first time up and struck out his last time up.
Crenshaw.
Pitch gets away from the catcher. And Coleman trots down to second base. So 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. So Crenshaw took a healthy cut at it with Coleman on second base. And the count's down 1 ball and 1 strike. Atkins looks in. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's halftime in the game, Brazil versus USA. I'm not going to say what the score is in case you want to see what it is yourself. Here's the pitch. That one's hit high in the right field. Right fielder's underneath it. He's got the snag. Runner tags, going to third base. Here's the throw. Cutoff man grabs it. So Crenshaw flies out. And Coleman advances to third base. That brings to the plate the third base.
Byron Arias.
All right, yeah, I heard a different name over the announcement, so I was trying to figure out who that is. Brian Arias. So Brian Arias is at the plate with Coleman on third base and 1 out. Here's the pitch. That one's popped foul down the first baseline over into the tennis courts for strike 2. So here's the pitch from Atkins. Outside and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Score is 17-3 Mohawks. Xavier's shaking his head. I don't know if it's over soccer or the score. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to left field. Left fielder's running in, and he can't get to it. Drops in front of him. So Grinshaw scores. Yeah, Pete wants me to tell you what the score is, but, no, I heard what the score was. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to let them guess.
Now batting for the Dogs, number 21, Harsh Romayana Venkat.
So the second baseman, number 21 from Brown University, Harsh Venkat, is at the plate. And with a single, Brian Arias is on first base. Here's the pitch. Outside and away. For ball one. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Atkins looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. That one is hit hard to the shortstop, who scoops it up, throws it over to second, over to first, in time for the double play. Not what the Dogs wanted. So we'll be back after this commercial message with the score 17-4.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
All right, we are back, folks. And DiamondDawgs have a new pitcher on the mound, number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Frecker. Coming to the plate for the Mohawks is number 32, the center fielder, Aiden Dill. Dill has walked twice, singled, and reached on an error. Here's the pitch. Outside and away for ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled back for strike one. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a pitch from Frecker. Outside and low for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Top of the 7th inning here. Mohawk up 17-4. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So Mohawk has had 13 hits tonight. DiamondDawgs have had 5. Here's the pitch from Frecker. Outside and high and away from the catcher for ball 3. So full count now. Here's the pitch. And it's low and in the dirt for ball 4, so Mohawk puts their first runner on base in the top of the 7th. That brings to the plate Brady Mills, number 28, is now catching for Mohawk.
Now batting number 28, Brady Mills.
Here's the pitch from Frecker. Outside and away. Runner thought about going, but catcher made a great stop, and he didn't advance. So Mohawk still has a runner on first base. Counts 1-0. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 2. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Mills. Runner on first, got a decent lead. That pitch is high for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's a pitch from Frecker. That one a called strike in the outside corner. Mills thought it was outside. He was ready to walk down to first base. Full count now, 3-2. Here's a pitch from Frecker. That one is popped up in the air. Shortstop is running out to get it, but center fielder calls him off, comes in, makes the grab for the first out. So that brings the plate number 29.
Now adding a third baseman, number 29.
The third baseman from Rutgers, Gabriel Rivera. Rivera's had one of those interesting nights like I talked about last inning. Reached on an error, hit by a pitch, walked, and hit by a pitch again. So he's been a magnet for the ball. Here's the pitch from Frecker. Outside, gets away from the catcher. And the runner advances to second base. So an expensive ball 1 as the runner advances to scoring position. Mohawk doesn't need any more runs tonight. They're doing just fine. Frecker looks in for the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. That one's popped up to right field. It's still in play. It's out of play now. It drifted out of play. That wind's still coming from left field across to right. It blew it out of play. So a long strike. Count now 1-1 with 1 out. Umpire says let's play. Frecker's ready to go. Here's the pitch. That one's high for ball 2. The score is 17-4 here in the top of the 7th inning. Mohawks have a runner on second base. Here's a pitch from Frecker. That one is popped up. Shortstop is drifting under it. And he dropped the ball. Hit his glove, fell out of his glove.
Now batting number 21 from Columbia University, Chris McLaughlin.
So that brings to the plate number 21, Chris McLaughlin, who had a single his last time up. So Mohawk has runners on first and second base. And here's the pitch from Frecker. That one's popped back towards us, or fouled back towards us for strike one. Here's a pitch from Frecker. That's in there for strike two. So runners on first and second at 1 out. Counts now 0-2. Here's a pitch from Frecker. Oh, yeah. And they say he went on that one. Called strike three. He doesn't agree with it, but umpire out there on the field made the call. So a strikeout. So that brings number 20, the first baseman, Jordan Perry, to the plate. Perry struck out his last time at bat. Dogs would love for him to do that just again. With runners on first and second base, here's the pitch from Frecker, and here's strike one. It's an 0-1 count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Frecker. Swung on and missed for strike two. Frecker looks in, and here's the pitch. And swung on and missed for strike three. So he got his wish, got him to strike out, but it's been another one of those innings there. 17-4, and we'll be back after a minute. If you're looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to serve as retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place. So we are back. Mohawk's got a new pitcher on the mound, number 11 from Rutgers University, Tyler Kane. And coming to the plate for the DiamondDawgs is the designated hitter, number 14 from UConn, Eric Diaz. Diaz has struck out. He grounded out to the pitcher, and he walked his last time at bat. A little conference on the mound there, but score is 17-4 in the bottom of the seventh inning, and that top of the seventh was the first time in the game that the Mohawks haven't scored any runs. They've scored in every inning except that last top of this one. So Diaz is at the plate. Dogs have 3 outs to do something here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike one. So 0-1 pitch here. Coming from Kane. That one's in the dirt for ball one. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Mohawk ahead 17-4. Diaz standing in at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I'm losing my voice. And the USA is having some trouble with Belgium. That's all I'm going to say. So here's a pitch from Kane. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Score is 17-14. Mohawks have a commanding lead here. Here's the pitch. Low again for ball 3. Full count now. Dogs are really going to have to work it hard here to stop the 10-run rule from coming into effect. They'd have to get at least 4 runs. That one's outside and away, and Diaz gets a walk. He'll take it. He hustled down.
Coming to the plate for your DiamondDawgs.
So that brings the right fielder, number 4, Jake Hardy from Fairfield University, to the plate. Hardy flew out. He had a double, and he struck out his last time at bat. And he's facing Kane out there with Diaz on first. Diaz has just got a short lead. He's not going to try and steal anything. That first pitch is inside for ball 1. Kane looks in. He's got his sign. Here's the pitch. That one swung on a miss for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Runner on first base. Diaz tossing his sliding glove over to the side. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2. That wind's dying down a little bit, but it's still blowing left to right there. Flag is still out a little bit. And it's really nice and cool. Here's the pitch. That one's popped up over the press box here. Got the bugs coming in tonight. Travis is bringing the bugs in the booth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Umpire says play. Diaz got a short lead on first base. Here's a pitch from Kane. That one almost gets away. Gets away from him. Catcher did a good job catching it. Full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kane looks over at first. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and missed for strike 3. So Hardy's down swinging.
Coming to the plate for your DiamondDawgs.
And that brings up the shortstop, number 27, Ryan Payne.
Ryan Payne.
Payne is walked, struck out, and then struck out again. So Kane looks in. Here's the pitch. That one's high for ball 1. Kane's working pretty quick out there. I think he just wants to get on the bus and go to Amsterdam. He's ready to go. Looks over at Diaz on first. Here's the pitch. That one's low and away for ball 2. Two-0 pitch on the way, inside and high for ball 3. 3 straight balls here from Kane. Here's the pitch. Called strike, inside corner and high. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Mohawks up 17-4. Dogs have a runner on first. Here's the pitch outside for ball 4. So they got a couple of people on base.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 9, from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So the first baseman, number 9, from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon, is at the plate. He flied out his first time, ground out to third base, and then walked his last time up. And going to be a little conference here on the mound with Kane. They just want to get on the bus. They want him to get on with it. Talking it over. Doesn't look like they're going to make a change. They're just going to calm him down a little bit and say, look, buddy, 2 more outs, we go home. Umpire's making his way out there saying, okay, you've been out there too long, buddy. They don't have any action in the bullpen down there, so they're not going to make a change. Just spending a lot of time out there. Come on, let's all go, he says. So Scanlon steps up to the plate. Kane's ready to go. He's got runners on first and second with 1 out. Here's Kane's pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's pop foul down the first base line. He's got room. He caught it. He's thrown over third base. I think he was out of play there, but umpire hasn't said anything. Foul ball. All right. He called it a foul ball. Yeah. There's a line down there that's an out of play area. He caught the ball just over that line, and so it becomes a long strike. Counts now no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Kane's ready to throw. Runners on first and second, and here's the pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Get Scanlon looking at that one. That brings the final chance here to center fielder number 35, Jake Dolan. So Dolan struck out in the second inning. He had a fly out to right field in the third, and what am I looking here? I can't even read my writing on the last time up here. So strike 1 to Kane. Kane's down to 2 more strikes, and he's going to call it a night here. Here's the second pitch. Inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And 2 outs. Here's Kane's pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. He wants to get on the bus. So down to the last strike here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 men on base, first and second. Kane looks in, gets his sign. Here's the pitch. In the dirt in front of the catcher. He blocks it, keeps it in front of him for ball 2. That was way in front of him. Took a heck of a bounce. So 2s. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's Kane's pitch. That one is hit hard to left field. No, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was because that shortstop got over there and got it to end the game. So that's it, folks. It's 17-4. DiamondDawgs will be back in action Thursday night against the Oneonta Outlaws. We'll see you at 6:35. Gates open at 5:35. We'll see you next time.
We're out on the field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard, gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. everybody out. It's time to stand up, yes, it's time to shout. We're playing some ball and we're having some fun. Come on, boys, let's score that run. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! Field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard. Gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! 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 Don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs!